Welcome back to the CA Short Company All In Employee Podcast, where we're all in and give generously. We're so glad you're here. I'm your host, Cheri Lucas, and with me is our co-host, the one and only Scott Russell, VP of Engagement Strategies at CA Short. And we have a very, very special guest that we're excited to welcome for the, actually not for the first time, but for the first time in her new role as our Director of Sales here at CA Short, Ms. Ashlee Green. Yeah! So excited. Hi, Scott. Hi, Ashlee.
Hello.
Ashlee, we're going to start with you today. We just want to talk all about you because we're so excited and we're celebrating your being here. So Ashlee has quite a vast history, you guys, in the employee engagement sphere. And I know she used to be in banking back in the day, and then she's a certified recognition professional and, all this long journey. And here she is with us now on the side of being a solution provider. So I'm just going to hand it to you, Ashlee, and let you kind of fill in the blanks and tell everybody what that journey has been like. And what I really am interested in is your perspectives of all of these different angles of being part of the recognition industry.
Yeah. Okay. We want your perspective on everything. You have 45 minutes, go.
You want your whole life perspective.
Right. Okay, so I will attempt to do this. Because I like you said, I've had quite a few years behind me in this world as we know it. So I will say that before, or really as I was building out my career path and navigating through that avenue of where's my passion, where does it lay today, where what is all of that about, and so I found myself, I had like you said, I'd worked prior after college and just trying to get into what I do like to do. I was in the banking field for a little bit. I worked in a call center for really the automotive industry. And that's really where it jumpstarted me and into the last 20 years of my career has been with Verizon, and specifically the wireless side, from early 2000s. I did venture into quite a few different roles in my path or my journey along the way, working in, helping support customer bases, but, through loyalty programs. But also then, I kind of worked my way into, where I find myself today in the employee side of things, right? Really helping that employee space out from a practitioner perspective. So, what I would do is I worked with recognition, with our incentives, really just everything that falls in that, employee experience, as you will, everything from employee engagement as well. So it's just like one big package to me as I see it through my lens. And I think it really just depends on what it is and where I was, through those last 20 years, navigating, my way through that all. So, I will say that I jumped from different roles as I built my career path out. I also connected with the Recognition Professionals International space in the early 2010s. I mean, that seems like yesterday, but it feels like an eternity.
We met through RPI.
Yes, we did. And I can't remember what year that was, Cheri, but everything always kind of pulls itself back in. That's what I love about this industry. No matter what position or, company you work for, it does, provide a space for all of us to connect along the way. And what's even better, through the Recognition Professionals International, we have expanded. Our networks really come together, and besides just networking, it's all about education. It's being better than you were the day before, right? It's learning what is it that connects our employees along the way. How do we help them understand our mission, our vision, our focus, and connecting back to the businesses that we're supporting. And so for me, it was really being able to take a large group of employees, on this journey along with us. And so moving from really recognition spaces and thinking about, I'd say the teams that I supported through the years that grew and grew as we moved forward. I've earned my my CRP, which is Certified Recognition Professional certification in early 2013 is when that was through RPI. And then I continued even education outside of that field to really connect in with a university that allowed me to learn as I was building programs for my company. So it was really just understanding what we did really in the call center space and making sure that as we built programs, as we did, created different strategies, ultimately it allowed us to apply. The team that I was on, or the cohort that I was in for 2 years, was going back to school. It was going back to college and really being able to validate some of the stuff that I'd learned or been a part of for so many years. But then it actually helped create a space where, with what I was doing, make it all make sense. So, along with those two different learnings, it helped me elevate my career at Verizon at the time, moving into even a marketing role for a little bit of time just to understand the components of the business and how they do support each other. Because, really, with anything that you do, you don't just have your team, you have the full company, you have the different departments that help you really get to where you are and helping each other and being able to be having that communication and structure and focus and vision, helps you really move that path, that obstacle that might be in front of you. So moving forward, really kind of into this century, as you will, but into this decade, the last 5 years of my life, I was devoted to running incentive programs really for all of the different channels within our business. So everything that you can think of in a sales arena, to, whether it's in person or cold calling or, just servicing that account from a growth perspective. It was also supporting customer service too. So I got to, I had the opportunity to be able to look at things from a holistic perspective, and apply those, because it is a very different world, whether you're in service or sales. But really, with us having the same vision, the same focus, we were able to be very successful. And so as of this year, I will tell you that I have, let me step back for a minute. So in the last, I guess, few years, as you will, as RPI, connected in with the IMA, which is the Incentives Marketing Association, that helped grow a lot of networking, a lot of space in how we go about handling or helping support that employee experience overall. So with that, I did get some additional certifications through the IMA to really validate, even helping me out in my space running incentive programs. And so that's been a wealth of knowledge and, a great network of people that, I'm constantly engaged with on a regular. So I am still part of the RPI board. I'm going actually this year, I'm the executive VP. Next year, I'll be president of that group, which I'm extremely excited about. I know, Scott, you were in that a few years back and, really kind of led the way and created that space of excitement, engagement. How do we do things different? Like let's keep all the people that really have the right passion and the right perspective on employee experience, like together. And it really has helped evolve us, to the level we're at today. So now back to this year, right? So I did get the opportunity. Yes, I got the opportunity to think about my career path and where was I going? Where do I want to really help step in and help support a place? The industry, obviously, I'm there. I've been there for years, right? And that's all I see me doing really for the rest of my life is to focus on what I'm engaged in today. So what was great about it is being a practitioner, I have a lot of different knowledge, a lot of different ways of how we did processes, why it's important, how we connect our company, our customers, which is our internal base, to really this world of recognition and incentives, et cetera. But this year, now I've moved into this role as director of sales for CA Short. I'm extremely excited about the opportunity. I mean, it's almost like you have a dream that you don't wake up from because it's so exciting. Yes. And I will say that, the most welcoming group, it is interesting moving from a large corporation into a smaller space. But that smaller space has so many more, to me, values in the people that we bring on, the people that we work with every day, and really just excited about where we're going to go from here, right? I just I see us growing and being ultra successful in this space where I can play the role of a service provider. And bringing my knowledge, my skills into that, along with everyone else on the team. That's what I have loved so far, being in this a little over a month, but is learning from others. And it's overwhelming, the amount of love and support and just really just the work that goes on here behind the scenes. It's really great.
It is. I concur.
So,
Yes.
It's great. And I'm glad you took a breath so that we could interject. But what she failed to tell you was that Ashlee and I have history. So while she gave you her story, let me embellish her story just a little. So Ashlee and I began working together.
We know each other through the same.
We began working together in 2003. We ended up on the same team, and we spent about the next 7-ish years, I think, on that team, 7 to 8 years. Very interesting time for us. We were in an operational team. We had culture and recognition and reporting and a lot of other pieces that were on our team. So over the course of those years, every event you can think of, we threw. We have stayed overnight in a hotel putting flower arrangements together and only gave ourselves 60 minutes to change clothes, rest, and be down for the start of the event. Like, we have lived and breathed it, right?
Yes.
I think
you mean you're all in?
Yeah, we were all in, and we owned the drink tickets a couple of times. That was fun, but we did a lot of initiatives together, a lot of things that I brought forward with me in our time together. Cheers for Peers, which is now something we do with clients and things of that nature. That all came from that era. The holiday basket competition auction we have here at CA Short came from that era. And then while we worked together those years, for the next few years, we had coexisted together at different opportunities within the same company. So I took a role in a different office, and when I changed roles, she took that role. We kind of just were right there together through the process until I eventually left Tennessee. But then you came to RVI, so we never stopped the connection over 20 years now. This is our 20 year this fall. In fact, I think my first day at Verizon was September 29th of 2003. You were ahead of me, a little bit ahead of me. So, lots of stories we have so many, in fact,
Don't make us edit you out, Scott.
We have traveled together. We have eaten together. We have shared many a plane ride, car ride, long meetings together, those types of things. And, the opportunity to bring her to Short presented itself. And she's been a friend of the company for several years, having met many of the people here. She was a guest on the podcast, but she's also has done some other great things with us. And so her name preceded her, right, in her reputation, and the opportunity was there, and it was a great opportunity to bring her here. So 20 years later, we're still together. And like we're still, making strides, right? In our world and in our industry. And one of the things I like, Ashlee, what you said is that, you're probably right. I think culture and recognition, this is probably where I will live out the rest of my professional career, right? I didn't know that's where I was headed 20, 30 years ago. But it is definitely where we've ended up. And I think it's a great moment. Excited for you to be president of RPI next year. You'll have a much more eventful year than I did when I got to be president during COVID, when no one could see each other or talk to each other or nothing. And that was frustrating. That was difficult, but, you're there now, excited for that. And I've joined the board of IMA. So we're still doing the same things we've always done. But now we're going to get to do them together. And I mean, you definitely, one of the most talented people I've ever known, extremely bright, extremely talented. And I think, there's some exciting things and challenges that you have, right off the bat. So, share with the folks that's like, kind of like what your role here is. I mean, it's director of sales can mean anything in a company, but what are you sort of challenged with?
Good question. So I will say, as I am, still new into my role and learning, I do know that, what we want to do is be able to bring in new customers, like that should be a consistent, message that we have really for our teams. But it's, we need to pick up the phone, we need to call, we need to consistently be reaching out to our different leads that we have. But then you think about even, our existing base, right? We do need to create that growth in that space, making sure that we're saving customers that we have today. What does that retention look like? What does, what does the growth opportunities that we have in those different, the different programs that we have for the different customers? I think there's a mass of, like a very, very large scale space that we have and we can grow on. It's just a matter of going after that, right? Having the right conversations, having the right connections, really ultimately, what we do for a living should be ultimately the easiest thing, right? Because we connect with people on a regular basis, and it's having that partnership with each and every one of our clients to make sure that they understand what we can offer, and then, we make it happen. But, in order to see that growth and be very successful is just continuing that focus in doing so. So as a team, I have a team of 6 that report to me, and all very, very talented and very, very vast skill sets, which is a good thing. But it's just now a matter of time of, hey, let's collaborate, let's come together, let's do this, right? Let's, high five to everybody. And, but it takes a lot of work, but, I think we're all in it for the right reasons. And that's what's exciting, right? Having the right team, having the right people, so we're set to go forward with that.
Love it.
So I want to ask both of you, Scott as VP and Ashlee as the director of sales. You said something earlier that stuck in my head and I can't get it out, is having the right perspective about the right employee experience. So talk more about that. What is that? Can y'all define that in your own definitions of what that is?
You want to go first?
No pressure. No pressure.
No, I mean, I'm fine. No, for me, that perspective. So the employee experience is so important because it truly defines how that employee interacts, communicates, and feels about the company that they work for. And, the employee experience historically was not something concentrated on. Throughout history, we hear lots of stories, how were the pyramids built? Well, they didn't consider, they weren't considering those people's thoughts and feelings and emotions. It was put the brick over here. And it's like, we've all seen that, right? But I mean, you see that in movies, right? From the beginning of time till today, people were just expected. It was just expected you do this. I hand you the check and you do blank. And what companies have learned in the last 10 to 20 years really is that by improving the experience of the employee, you improve all the natural KPIs of the business. So finally, science, and data will tell you if you can engage your employee at a higher level, that employee engages the customer at a higher level, that employee performs at a higher level. So today we look at that employee experience, the whole journey from the minute you sign them on, what's it like, all the way to when they leave, right? And it's different for everyone, but if you can create the most consistent positive journey, you're going to get the most out of that employee, and in turn, it's going to do great things for your company.
Love that. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, good job, Scott. That's great. No, but I mean, honestly, ditto with what he said. I mean,
ditto. Your answer's ditto. We've hired her, and her answer's ditto.
Right, but
didn't she teach you everything you know, Scott?
She did. Pretty much.
But no, we learn from each other. For the last 20 years for sure. But, I think with what you said is very valid. We experienced that, right? When we worked together at the old company to say, like we fought tooth and nail at times just to even keep our roles existing. That was something that, based on leadership, you either understood where the employee experience was so valuable or not, or you had many years where we challenged our executives to really think about by removing that element of the culture, right? Because it starts, like Scott said, from day one, the onboarding, and it continues through the life cycle of that employee with the company. But by having something in place really makes that employee feel like they are a part of the organization, not just a part of it, but really a business owner, as you will. Because if you don't have that space where that employee can be, really, really learn to be a part of, the company's culture, the company itself, right? Being that family member, as you will, can't they're never going to. If you don't have it, you're never going to get them to understand what really is the bottom line. Everybody's in business for profit. We all are, right? And so it's just a matter of making sure that by having a culture of engagement and and recognition, incentives. I mean, they all serve their own purpose, but ultimately, it really helps us to pull that employee through with the vision of where we're going. And so I've seen it in both aspects, for both when it's not there and when it's there. And it's something that companies can't be without today. I mean, it is part of the lifeline of the company. And so making sure that that other companies that even come to us and really want to talk about, well, what do you have? I've heard we should do this. There's so many different spaces as far as where people are in the journey of recognition and engagement. But just even being able to help them understand what that really means, and where it can help them build their business, or be able to have those employees that, retention is way high, the attrition part is lower because, without the people, you can't do the work, right? As much as AI is so fantastic and all these new digitalized things that have come into our world over the different decades, you still need the people aspect. And, so it's just valuable to, to make sure that we are being a good representative for that space in the industry as well, in every conversation that we have.
And listening to both of you, and just actually every element in the recognition industry and your conversations right here, it's really the bottom line of communication. I mean, whether it's verbally, whether it's through action or through guidelines strategies and missions and visions. All of it is just communication and everything that we do. And so letting everybody be in the same conversation, keeping everyone in the same conversation so that you're going the same direction. And I love what Scott talked about. It's like when, it's the owners, executives, management's job to take care of the employees. That's their focus, because then the employees are filled up and free and equipped to take care of the customers, so that the management and executives don't have to worry about the customer, right? So so it just trickles down, and that communication takes care of that.
I think it's really powerful. That think about it from another side. The more positive that you bring to the table with your employee, the less BS you're giving your employee to deal with, right? And I say that nicely, because think about it. If your employee spends all their time because they don't like the schedules, or they don't like they don't like their time off, or they don't like, the list keeps going on, right? From an employee engagement perspective, think of a survey where that employee is disagreeing with everything. Well, that's what they're going to talk about. That's the stuff they're going to share in their family and share with their friends and their coworkers. So when you mitigate that by creating positive situations, listening to your employees, moving in directions that support the employee, you're taking those things off the table, and you're creating an environment and a culture. That's why I always talk about creating that culture of appreciation. If that's what you want, start at the bare minimum, right? And start with please and thank you. Start with the very basic things that we learn as children, and then grow that and graduate that, right? As you get, because I always tell people, they're like, well, I've never done any recognition. And I'm like, well, you have, if you've sent a birthday card, or if you've sent an anniversary card, if you've thrown somebody a party. Yes, you have. You just haven't done it on a professional scale, right? You've done it on the other side. So, I love where we're at. I love working with the cultures, working with people, trying to help uncover what's holding that company back. But recognition is a big part of what can keep an employee happy or unhappy in their job. And I think we see corporations, to Ashlee's point, where there are some corporations that in their mind, the employee experience is, did we get the right mouse pad? Did we give that right? Been there, sat through when you sat through a meeting with 12 people at the table, picking the arm thing for your keyboard, and picking the mouse pad, but at the same time, they're not doing anything for recognition. That business has a problem, and it will show itself at some point, right? So it's a great balance between all of the other elements of your business, and then how do you keep people, and Cheri, you said it, for that lack of a better word, but it's keeping them happy, but it's keeping them happy and engaged. And you can't control what happens outside of a person's work environment, but you can control what happens within it.
When someone feels valued and engaged, they're less likely to be irritable or annoyed by minor things about the wrong mouse pad, right?
Correct.
So,
that's the point,
it really takes care of a lot of those little things that just wear us down,
if you feel valued, you're going to give more, you're going to do more. And companies just need to be on the other side of that and be able to thank those people. Because we've all lived through it. We've lived through, telling people that you have mandatory overtime, telling people that you have this and that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, or we're not going to celebrate a holiday. And I'm not particularly just talking about one company, but just companies from our past, totally, right? Or, if a company's, if the pay isn't right, recognition won't matter. And I tell companies that all day long. If compensation's not right, your efforts in recognition will go nearly unnoticed. So there are, that Maslow's theory sticks with me big time. So, you've got to be sure their needs are met before recognition takes hold, because otherwise it's just one more piece of a pie that they're not happy about to begin with.
Exactly.
Right. That's a big, important piece. And so we're going to talk about that, but I'm so glad that Ashlee and you, Cheri, have joined CA Short recently. And in all transparency, Cheri reports to Ashlee, Ashlee reports to me. So we're all one big family here on the show today for transparency. But that leads us into some conversation anyway, because CA Short itself is undergoing an evolution for the company. We have been here, we're going on 86 years now. It's a long time. And I love our history, and we need to do I love telling the history. So we got to do a show on the history some point, and hopefully we'll get Chuck to talk a little bit about it. And then,
that'd be perfect.
But just the great history of this company. We've never really done anything outside of recognition. We started in candy, of all things, little general store and candy. But then that grew into recognition, all kinds of recognition. And one thing that we were not, we didn't start out with technology. We didn't, we're 85 years, right? Come on, if anybody around can remember. So we didn't start with a platform and points programs and an app and all these different things. It was manual. It was the old like S&H green stamp model. That's one of the oldest models in recognition world.
I loved that. My grandmother let me do her green stamps, put them in the book, and then we'd go to the store and get something.
So let me shake your world by telling you we still have a couple of clients that do that. So they've been doing it for 30, 40 years. They're still doing it. Then it morphed. Then it became a catalog business, and then it became this. And then about 10 years ago, the business moved into the technology world, and that's changed everything for our industry. And Ashlee, you said something earlier that really leads to this point, because you said, all these things with employee engagement, we're all here to be profitable in the end, all of us, right? That's the company, right, where we live, what we do. And in that effort, CA Short itself is evolving. So where, before, like I said, today's world is different. And there are a lot of people in our space that just come into it with technology, and they don't have the certifications we have. They don't have the education, the knowledge, the expertise, but they have a shiny ball of technology and love to throw it at whoever will catch it. Right. Yeah. And it's frustrating because, of course, we're going to be in the sandbox with those people sometimes and have to talk and compete against them. But one of the things, looking for our future, is that our platform is moving to more of a traditional SaaS model, which is a software as a service model. We have built it, we have updated it. We're making some incredible strides just this past 2 years in our technology space, a very large investment. And to gain that return on investment and to stay a profitable company, there's just some changes that we have to make moving forward as well. And so that we can operate in a more similar manner to what today's businesses operate in. And 10 years ago, we wouldn't have even talked about this, but today we have to, right? So I think, clients hopefully will see that as positive changes. If you're a new prospect looking at CA Short, I think in black and white, it'll just make more sense to you when you compare us to other opportunities you have. But we've noticed that, some of our models traditionally, while they were great for us, don't always work today because on paper they look so different, and they don't. So we're sort of what I would say right-sizing that. And so there will be definitely some distinctions between the way we used to do business and the way we're going to do business, but it's only for the better. Our company, a little bit of, I guess you call it the State of the Union, but CA Short, we've seen double-digit increases in our revenue in the last few years. I joined the company 7 years ago, and we are now more than double the size we were just 7 years ago. So imagine that for 79 years, a company grew to one spot, and then in the last 7, we've doubled it. Right. So there's definitely, we're on the right track. We're in the right direction. A big focus for us has been right people, right role, which you two play into that greatly. It has been finding the right talent to be in that right position, no matter where they are in the country. Of course, I am located near Charlotte, near our office, but Ashlee's in Tennessee and Cheri's in Texas. We have other employees around the country. And now what you're seeing from an evolution standpoint is that we are more technology based than ever before. We're going to be launching a brand new app this fall, which I know we're going to talk about in a future episode, but I'm so excited about it because this app was designed by the #1 app designer in the country. So we didn't skimp. We went to the best and said, help us build the best. So we really are focusing now on what that future looks like. And so there's an evolution into the way we do business, into the way we price our programs and structure our programs. I think you'll see that. I think the confidence in our platform is great. We most recently were named a top 10 provider from the HRO Today's Baker's Dozen, and we moved up 3 notches this year, and that's huge in our industry. Once you're in, I mean, just to move 3 notches in the top 10, and a lot of that is comes from the recognition of our platform and where it is today, where people are everything is, or PAE as we call it. And we're just going to see some great things coming in the months to come. And I'm very excited about where this business is headed.
I don't even have words because I'm so excited. And that was a great address there, the State of the Union address.
The State of the Union.
That, Scott. Thank you. It was very encouraging, right? And informative for sure.
Did you want me to say things like free school for everyone, or let's see, what else? Cash for clunkers. There was another one. Like, I'm trying to think of all the things I've heard in State of the Unions. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But yeah, very, very excited about where we're going. But there definitely will be some changes that will impact both our current clients and ones coming on board. And those will be rolled out a little over time. And I'm sure there'll be some situations we grandfather some folks into, but there, definitely it's just what I refer to it as the evolution, because it truly is just the next step in the journey of our company and where this company's going. And there's no reason that we shouldn't be $100 million company in a few years to come. And that would be exciting for us and for our employees, because we give back. We give to the employee as we grow the same way. We celebrated last week, in fact, when we got our Baker's Dozen announcement. So very excited about it. Very excited about it. Now, I will tell you, though, coming up soon are some exciting things. So we just had our All In Awards event. So excited about that. We now recognize the top clients in very specific areas. Just giving you an idea, we reward our best overall program, our top performing years of service, top performing safety, top performing wellness, holiday, everything from the best launch. So if a client does a great job in that first 90 days, they very well could win an award just for that. So it was so exciting to have that in Southern Florida. We just launched this last year. It's another part of our evolution, recognizing those who have chosen us as their provider. And it's saying thank you first of all, thank you to all that do that. But these are the ones who have stood out, done an amazing job. And we're so thrilled to have seen them in Southern Florida. And we've got all kinds of communications out about it. I think, Cheri, you're going to have several guests on the podcast this season talking about what they did to win and how they won and how great their program is. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
So very excited about that. Yeah. And then, so we just finished that. And then right around the corner, something Ashlee and I know all too well is Customer Service Week.
Yes.
I mean, we managed it ourselves for a number of years. It's always the first week in October. And it's really a week to highlight any of your teams that are customer service based. So I would tell you, if you have customer service, don't miss this week. Do something. Do anything. It's a great time. Buy them lunch, buy them cupcakes, get them stuff, award them points if you're on a points program. Do something great for that team. Our sales team, I know we pitch in and do some great things for the team here. But man, that's right around the corner. And it's the same every year. It's the first week of October every year. So if you just mark that down, you'll have that down for the future.
That's right. Just think, just before Halloween,
Yes.
right? Before Christmas, include all these things. Thanksgiving,
Customer service week. Yeah, I don't know how that week
Christmas,
got
Thanksgiving, customer service week. Halloween, Thanksgiving, customer service week. We got to remember backwards, count backwards. Everything's counting backwards from the holidays, right?
Yeah. Labor Day, customer service week, Thanksgiving,
Yep.
or Halloween. Yeah, then Thanksgiving. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's a great time. It gives you an official time. I mean, you should be recognizing people all the time, but
Yep.
if you do nothing less than just be sure that you do the specific times that are out there: employee engagement day, employee engagement week, customer service week. They're all at different times of the year, but it's a great time to recognize those who are on the front line of supporting your customers.
Well, and Scott, I think that is so important, just to remember that you start somewhere. You just start small, just by something, just start with 1 week or 1 day a year, or start with great job, or thank you. I sure do appreciate what you do around here. Just start small and practice that, and then let it grow from there. As you begin, it becomes easier to give the recognition and appreciation, and it also becomes easier to receive it, right, and pass it on, and cause that big ripple effect that we all love. So I love it. Every aspect of recognition. Everybody involved, from company executives to the hourly waged people. It's the same for everyone. It's equally important, and it's equally effective, and it's equally easy to give. Is that recognition and appreciation, right?
Yeah, super easy. And if you're running a points program, give them some points. It takes 2 seconds. So it's like, do an e-card with some points. But, anything you can do, in our old days when Ashlee and I ran that, it was a week-long excitement. We did some amazing things. I'll give us credit for those weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Because they all had a theme. They had different days. And I still have makeup burns, I think, from doing Alice in Wonderland when I did the Mad Hatter.
Oh, yeah.
But we have been in many costumes, full on regalia, just full on. We did Willy Wonka, and we had the Oompa Loompas, and we've done, but yeah, no joke. I have little chemical burns where some white makeup once burned my cheek doing Alice in Wonderland. So, go all in if you can. That's what the one thing too is, if you can, do it. Don't let something hold you back, and do it afraid. Don't be scared to just get out there and make your mark. Have a good time with your people, and again, just if you're the big head honchos, get out and say thank you. Nothing means more than that to them. They're going to love just to see your face, and just handwritten notes are still great items. The basics always matter, right? If you can award above and beyond that, do it. If you can't, at least do the very basics, and get out and show people that you appreciate them.
Absolutely. Ashlee, is there any last word that you want to give to our listeners or to Scott?
Yeah, I know that this is a whole new adventure for me, and even for you, Cheri, as we have come into this business, and it's just an exciting time for us to really all grow together, and to really help support the company, in our ventures, and really the path forward is just, to me, like that. They always talk about what is that. What does it look like for you? And for me, it is, the door is wide open. We all make our focuses, and our it really we make our own path to success. And I know this team is really all for that. But it's been a while since I've really felt like I've been a part of that journey, as you will. And so I'm really excited about how we're gonna do really like what's gonna come for this year. We still have a few months left in the year, and so exciting about that, and how we close out from that perspective. But then even in the future, where are we taking, where is our road? And it all just looks nice and bright for me. So I'm excited to be a part of it. And thank you guys for for having me today, and Scott, all his wisdom, right? You know, because I tell you, don't roll your eyes at me, but I will say,
wisdom.
I will say he does. Yeah, I mean, come on. You know, just being creative, being, just having that focus is really what it's about. So excited to be a part of the team.
I am so glad that you've both been here. It's that time again, you guys. Thank you, Ashlee. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, viewers, for being with us here on the CA Short Company All In Employee podcast, where we are all in and we give generously. It's been fun, it's been informative, and it's been engaging. Remember, if you're not all in, you're all out. We'll see you next time.